Okay, this is Bruce Wayne
from JMedia-FM Radio. I have got Kate Eppers on the phone, and I'm real excited about Kate. We've been broadcasting and debuting her music for quite some time, and she recently released a new album. So, Kate, are you there?
I am. Hi, thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Try not to be lazy on Saturday. It's hard.
Oh, I know. It is Saturday, isn't it? And some days I meet myself coming and going, so I wasn't sure what day it was either. But in any event, you want to talk about your album, The Wishing Well, and what it took for you to get from
start to finish.
Tell me about that process.
So it started with, the writing of the songs. It was that was really the easy part because, I guess for songwriters or any kind of artist really, whether you're author, a poet, a writer, you have that moment where it kind of just pours out of you if you're lucky. And that was what happened in 2014 in the summertime. And it was wonderful, but, flash forward 3 years later and it's done. So it was really the recording process and going from, 2 different studios, finding the right fit, and just finally letting that magic really did happen with an engineer I met. He really ended up co-producing. It's kind of shocking that it's done. It's kind of surreal. I have to poke myself, but it was definitely the biggest project in my life I've ever taken on, and to be done is amazing, but just the work involved, because, a song is never done. So it was just finding out when is this going to be done? When am I going to stop re-singing or, replaying a part or this is all before any kind of mixing, any of that stuff. Just that process took a long time, but I am really happy with the result, and it is actually done.
I like it. I like the song. I played it in its entirety 3 times a couple of nights ago, and I intend to air it again today. But it's powerful. You got a great voice. I see big things in your future if you stay on the path that you're on. The funny thing about music is it doesn't matter the genre. Good music is just that. It reaches out, it creeps into your soul. It does one of 2 things. You either like it right out of the gate or it grows on you, when it's good. And there are several tracks that I really found intriguing. And, you're so young to be doing all the things that you're doing. How did you come to be interested in music?
Thanks. Really my whole life I really started doing a lot of theater and acting at a, really young age. I was doing school plays, but I actually there's a show called the Ig Nobel Awards that my uncle and my uncle had to show it at Harvard University, and it's this big theatrical comedy show. And, I was interested in all this stuff, and he said, "You want to do it?" And I said, "Of course." And so I was, when I started, I was 8, and, the crowd was a couple hundred people, but it grew. So it eventually, we ended up at Sanders Theater, where I believe it's 1,200 people that can fit in that theater. And so here I am, this little, pup doing these. And I basically go in being like this silly character and giving, just this 1 or 2 minute speech. But that really got me comfortable. You crave that. I guess it's attention, but just performing, it's such a rush. But along with that, I was always singing, and my dad was a musician, and it was just always a part of me. I was recording on his just silly karaoke machine, singing Ronnie Spector, "Be My Baby," and of course I was in the chorus, and just always listening to Disney music and just really just wishing I could sing like them. And eventually, I think I started to sound like them, and I said, I wonder if I'm able to sing, because I wanted to be able to sing so much when I was so young.
Yes.
So I guess it's a blessing.
Oh, no doubt. For sure.
So it's just very emotional.
It is. I find that singing and music and the whole process is extremely emotional. Music can make you cry. I played a song a couple days ago, a Prince song, a cover song that Bonnie Raitt had actually sang, which is called "I Can't Make You Love Me." And always liked that song by Bonnie Raitt. I didn't know that Prince had even done a cover. Did a cover in 1996. Very, very powerful. And my friend started to cry. She's a huge Prince fan, and the song is very emotional anyway. I mean, it speaks volumes to people who have been in love or who are trying to get the mate that they want and things don't work out, and it's just powerful. And, I sat and I listened to your songs over and over before deciding whether or not I was going to air in its entirety. And I decided to do that only because everything was great. Every song. I mean, I started off with Prove That You're Real, and then Silence, and For Me, There's Only You. And I had been debuting that song for a few months, not realizing that it was actually part of this album. Burn the City to the Ground, Follow Me, Wishing Well, the song itself. And then there's a melody that you do, which you told me was really a melting pot of all of your melodies. Is that not correct?
It is, and it's funny because that was the last thing that happened on the album, the finishing piece of it, which I had always thought of that because I would play on the keyboard and I'd be playing around going, can all my songs go into each other? Do they fit? Could I do that? Because that would be wicked cool. And as I was coming to a finish of the album, finally I'm going, oh man, I really want to do this. Do I really want to start a new song though? Because I redid everything, and I did with the help of the amazing people around me, but I sat there. I mean, it probably took almost an entire day, and I'm playing on the piano and trying to figure it out, and just because it wasn't verbatim how the songs were. I redid parts, and but yeah, I'm really glad, and it's just because it was kind of like wrapping up. It's like, here's the story, it's kind of a reprise or something. But
yeah, very much so.
And it was funny because when I brought it, I recorded it, and then I brought it to the studio, and we just kind of called it Medley of the Melodies, because that's what it is. But I ended up, that wasn't going to be the name. I didn't know what I was going to call it, but just stayed that way because that's literally what it is. It's just a recap of all of them, and I think they kind of beautifully fit together, and it was fun to hear the songs in a different dimension too, not just how I've been working on these songs for years, in a new way, in a very atmospheric or a kind of cinematic, way. With the instrumental pieces, and there's a soprano singing in there, and kind of dreamy.
Yeah, I thought that I really felt that this music even had a feel of a big cinema type film. The theme music to some dramatic movie or something. You have a lovely voice, no doubt, and I think you're quite talented. I thought it was mixed very, very well, engineered very well. It all just fits together. So tell me this: what style or genre do you see yourself as being? Are you pop? Are you dance? Are you a combination ballad? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, I guess that's the tough part because it's kind of going, where do I fit in? And there's so many I have so many inspirations and love so many different genres and want to do this, but you can't. I guess you do have to kind of find out where you fit so you can direct it to those people that are those listeners. But I don't know. I started out thinking this is all going to be, you can hear my musical theater influence from years of doing theater, just watching musicals, just, again, the Disney, just loving all of that kind of music. So it's theatrical, but is that really, is there a radio station that's going to play some kind of, there's some rock a little bit, there's pop, there's theater, so still kind of finding out what to really call myself, because I have some songs that are very strong electronica that I'm working up now, that not on the album. And then I also have some that will be completely just all raw, organic, just instruments, and definitely more of a rock genre. But I guess right now it's probably just kind of pop rock, I'd say. But it's open to, if somebody says to me, I think you're this, I'd say, okay, because I'm still trying to figure that out as well.
The great thing about the music business, and there are so many things that aren't great, but we're talking about the great things, is that, you can blend that. You can mixing bowl. You can be pop rock. You can be pop country. You can be rock country, bluesy jazz, jazzy blues. You can melt all that stuff together and come out with more than just one genre of audience. I've always been a believer that music is like food. If you ate the same type of food every day for the rest of your life, you would soon grow tired of food. So because of the diversity of music, because of the different flavors and styles of music, you can do that blend. So you'll figure out where you're supposed to be for sure. But this is a good album, and I think that a lot of people that don't know who you are, once they sit and listen to it a few times, it's got a nice feel to it. It's got a nice comfy feel. It's got it all. It's got some romance in it, I think. It's got some hot pop to it, and I hear rock. So absolutely, I'm in agreement with that. So are you on a record label? Is this an independent album that you produced? Are you on a label of sorts?
No, totally independent. No label, no nothing. Just doing it on my own, but really never on my own because I have people around me. Again, I was going to somebody's studio who just was incredible and just so blessed, and then having of course, a boyfriend my boyfriend Brian is in One Time Mountain, which is an amazing Boston band. They do, they're crazy rockers, but he has helped me so much. And Matt Valier he's the drummer of that band and my engineer, and just incredibly talented and just amazing to have them, the two of them. And Brian played guitar on most of these tracks, and it's just a very small operation, very passionate, very small, and
I think that's okay. I don't think there are any drawbacks with that. It's costly to produce albums. It can cost an awfully lot of money, and when you're just starting out, when you're trying to get your feet wet, holding costs down is quite important. The next big step, which I'm sure you're already undertaking, is the distribution side of it. Where you're going to distribute it, the usual channels: CD Baby, iTunes, Google Plus, places like that.
Yeah.
That's where you start. And then at some point you try to move into the major markets where you're getting major distributions into larger market. Because when you go to Billboard and you start looking at the charting, you soon realize that it's all done regionally, that there are various regions, how they track things. So it's very important to know where your strong regions are so you can hammer those areas and you can continue to get your music where it needs to be. Are you real active on the Twitter side of things, on social media? I encourage artists to do Twitter, because Twitter and Billboard sort of work together, and they have an emerging music chart. And I think that's something that as an independent artist, if you're not familiar with it, you can go familiarize yourself with the Billboard Twitter chart. Did you know about that?
I didn't. No, not at all.
See how much information you're getting from me, girl?
Wow. I know.
Yeah, when we're done with this interview, I will send you a link to it, and you can go check it out. And why is it important to you? Because Billboard is actually tracking social media activity. They're looking at things like how many people post about you, how many people stream your music, all of those things. So you don't have to have a big budget for advertising. You don't have to have tens of thousands of dollars to get things done. Is it nice to have? Of course it is. But if you can increase your activities on Twitter and catch the eye of Billboard, you could end up in the top 100 or the top 50, or whatever their various ranks are. They have multiple genres for everything from electronic dance to R&B to soul to country to whatever. So you have many opportunities to rank on Billboard. And why do you want to rank on Billboard? So that mainstream radio will pick you up, I mean, you might start out with small stations like my own, where you're getting a little airplay here and there and getting some exposure. But the ultimate goal is to be picked up by the big guys. And I have to say that, because it's true. Spotify and some of the other ones out there that are streaming, we're all streaming. That's what the internet is all about. But they're looking at some of the bigger streamers because that's where all the traffic is. So that's why I'm mentioning that. I thought that would be very helpful to you, to find out as much as you can, and then make sure that every day you're on the social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of these different social media sites, so that you're creating awareness, because awareness is extremely important, extremely.
Oh, yeah.
So have you done any concerts? Have you opened for any major bands or any groups around the countryside since you've been doing this?
Lately, I've actually been, most of my performing lately musical performances have been with the Teal Street Band, and we do weddings, private parties, and corporate events and things like that. So that's actually really what I saw on the performance side, have been heavily performing with them. But the other piece of it is, now that I've finished this, is to figure out the next step and, okay, what's the next step, what's the next plan? And that would be exactly what I'm looking to do, is to, just have my own features, which I have done in the past, just at local restaurants, coffee houses, and things like that. But, playing alongside established bands, playing out more my own original music, not just, it's great, the weddings and private parties, things like that, are that for fun and for, the extra cash in your pocket, of course, but it's, my original music, and it will be great to have that piece of it. So yeah, in the future, that's what I'm looking to do.
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think that what you need to do is exactly what you said, and it comes back to, first you get your music produced and mastered, then you start setting up your distribution, and then you start looking for tours, places to play, venues to play. And again, it brings you back to creating awareness, and social media is a huge, huge part of that because it's your advertising, it's your billboard, it's your radio, your television equivalency to what was done years and years ago in the music space. But now, I'm not saying that you don't have to do those things. I'm saying that if you don't have a huge budget, that the way for you as an emerging artist, an up-and-coming artist, to be discovered by everyone from fans to other record labels to distribution centers is to be out there on social media, to put your image out there, your face, your cover art for your album, your songs, your sales sites where you're selling your downloads, all of that stuff you want in front of as many people as you can get. And it's labor intensive because, somebody has to do it. So if not you, somebody else. But the more time you devote to it, the greater the impact is going to be. And you're going to get big results from those efforts. So I encourage you to do that.
It is very labor intensive. I said to someone yesterday, I've never spent so much time. I mean, you're on your phone, but I mean, just on this computer, because I started building my website about a month ago, hoping it would, coincide with my album coming out, and it is technically live, and it's just kateeppers.com. It's still, I'd say, under construction, but people are welcome to check it out. I'm still working on it because talk about a learning curve, working on a website. But
I know. I built my website a couple of years ago, and you build your own website because it's so expensive to have them professionally done. Now, there are services out there that provide you. GoDaddy has one. I can't think of some of the other ones, but there are several sites out there that allow you to go in using WordPress or other format and create a beautiful, professionally looking website where you can have all the moving parts. You can have video, you can have music downloads, you can have everything. So, and you need all that. And why do you need all that? Because there are a lot of players out there, and you're just one of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of artists around the globe for sure, who are all being for attention from the prospective fan. So you need that, you need to be out there.
Just a drop in the ocean. And, you know what I thought of actually when you were talking about openings for bigger acts, and it was actually 1 year ago, St. Patrick's Day last year, I played singer-songwriter circle, and it was, I think, three artists, including myself. We opened for Charlie Farron at this. It was really, really, really cool. Charlie Farron, he's like a local legend. He plays with the Joe Perry Project, and it was just kind of a nice, intimate night on St. Patrick's Day, and just everybody playing original music. And that was a lot of fun. He was a nice guy.
Oh yeah, I don't know him personally, but all those things will culminate into creating your opportunity. And it sounds to me like you're already off to a great, great start. So you got plans for a second album anytime soon, or is that far off?
Yeah, no, it's already happening. I'm thinking of actually doing a couple of different things. I already have some music that is finished, but I didn't know what to do with it. I'm working on, I have this one song finished, and it's electronica, but it does have real guitar and drums as well. And I wrote it based on video games, so it was kind of it's actually one of the most fun. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever wrote. It kind of sounds like a kid's song. It's so much fun, and it's called You Are Mine, and I was thinking the other day maybe a small little, like a 3-song EP with just similar things.
Absolutely.
But I really would love to, when I was writing this, I really was kind of thinking that what if this could be, maybe like a musical, my current album. But at the same time, I was forward thinking. I was thinking of actually writing something like a rock opera, if you will, because I'm looking to get into a heavier sound and just incorporate more instruments. And so that, again, goes with me talking about where do I fit in, because I just have these other ideas, and I'd love to do something that was harder, and heavier, I should say. So there's already a lot of recording in process, and it's been in process, and today I've been working on doing vocals for a cover song, and I just started learning engineering a little bit myself, so I invested in some great, a microphone, got a Neumann T3. I got, what are they called? Hold on, I got to check out. I have these amazing new recording headphones. They're dynamic. So it's really cool. I'm recording my own vocals from home. I've never done this, and I've always wanted to engineer myself, so it's the first steps of that. So I've been recording all day. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see if any of it is usable, because I am.
Oh, I think that you're going to do just fine. I hear the excitement in your voice, and it's an exciting time for you because, as an artist, you get to be creative. That's the beautiful thing about being any type of artist. It doesn't matter if you're painting or drawing or making music or creating equipment or whatever, designing. It's all a form of creativity. So once you get all the pieces to the puzzle, once you have a baseline for how you start putting things together, I think you're gonna turn out lots of great music. So you just keep firing away at it. I would like you to give your locations again where your music could be purchased. You want to tell us where people could order your album from?
Sure. Right now, it's just out in digital. I haven't made any physical CDs yet. I'm working on that, but just on iTunes and Amazon Music. And a lot of people, including myself, didn't even know Amazon had music till a few years ago. But it's really
Amazon is huge.
Yeah. I obsessively order from Amazon all the time. I didn't know you could buy music, and so it's really, that's all it is right now. It's just iTunes and Amazon, and hopefully I'll get some physical CDs produced because I just have beautiful album art and just had so blessed to have amazing photographers just capturing these pictures.
Not to plug Amazon, but I do want to say this for those listeners out there who are curious. Amazon streams in the neighborhood of somewhere between 30 million plus, and it might even be closer to 60 million now because they were on it to compete with other major players. So Amazon is not a small streaming site by any stretch of the imagination. They also provide their form of a ranking system, just like Billboard. So, and it's a big deal. All your major artists are selling their music on Amazon, just as well as CD Baby and Tidal and Apple, all of them. So, eventually the goal should be to get your music on the top 4 or 5 streaming sites because it's all about location. It's just like selling real estate. It's location, location, location. And the more locations you have, the more people can potentially see your music and stream your music and buy your music. And, with all the things that are changing in the industry, streaming is now a part of consideration, for Grammys. That's what Chance the Rapper was able to accomplish. Open the door, literally wide open, blew it off the hinges because you don't have to have a major record deal to be successful. That's what's important. That's why you need to understand the power of social media and that presence is needed there. And not because I want you to use our service or anything like that, but I'm just saying artists miss the boat so many times because they're focusing on the way the music industry used to work. That's not the landscape today. The landscape today is all about streaming and being able to go to the internet on any device and download your music, play your music, hear your music, all of that, purchase your music. That's the way it is. Not to say that no one wants to buy singles or vinyls or CDs. There are people that will always want those things as collectors, and they just want to physically touch. But for today's millennials out there, they're very techy. They're very high tech, and this is on the fly. It's about portability, being able to carry it with you. Listen on your iPad, listen on your iPhone, listen on your Droid, listen wherever and whenever you feel the need. So, hey, it was a pleasure talking with you today. I do appreciate you calling. I hope that we'll do this interview again. You want to give us the name of your website one more time for the listeners?
Sure, just KateEppers.com. And so my first name, Kate, last name is just take the word Peppers, take the P away. That's my last name, Eppers. So KateEppers.com. And, of course, I'm on all the other, Instagram, Facebook, just social media, anywhere you'll find me.
Cool. That's cool. We've been talking with Kate Eppers, who has a new album out called Wishing Well. We are debuting it on JMedia-FM radio, and I will be playing that later today. So I'll post about that so people can tune in, listen, and hear this talented young artist, young emerging engineer producer, I should call you, right?
In training. Well, the engineering part. Very much.
Yeah. Well, you'll branch into all those other areas, so don't worry about that. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know that time is precious because we have so much to get accomplished. So anything I can do to help you, don't be afraid to reach out to me, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. That was great. Thanks a lot.
Yep, you're welcome. I'm going to stop this right here, so hold on a second.